So hey guys, welcome to the Sandro Linux Community Podcast. It is the 26th of April. We have got a lot of tech news to discuss today. So Blizzard has announced the end of BlizzCon for this year. So maybe it will be back in a future year. But for this year, we will not be seeing that gaming conference. And the Rabbit R1 has now been launched. So this is a AI device which is meant to be an AI assistant. So not an actual replacement for your smartphone. But that is an interesting gadget. We'll discuss that later. But first, let's talk about the Blizzard story. So, Blizzard has been going from one controversy to another. And, of course, there was some pretty serious stuff with the sexual misconduct controversies with Blizzard. And, yeah, we are now seeing another potential controversy on the horizon. Although not as much as the previous, and of course, I'm not saying anywhere near as severe. Of course, they have announced that BlizzCon is not going ahead this year. So BlizzCon or BlizzCon is an event that is usually held annually, where basically Blizzard discuss some of their franchises such as World of Warcraft, Overwatch, and their other games. And ever since they were acquired by Microsoft, we have seen a bit of a change in direction within Blizzard. As this article does say, the company was reorganized after the acquisition. So the C-suite was reconfigured. So some people were fired and some people were brought in to the company. And of course, that is going to reflect in the way that Blizzard is actually run. So this is one change that has been made. And overall in the industry, we have been seeing less and less fan conventions and more developer-specific events. So we will have to see whether more gaming companies decide to pull back on these conventions. However, we have already seen E3, for example, actually no longer being a conference each year. So we have seen the end of a number of gaming conferences, and this is another one to add to the list. So yeah, of course, the COVID-19 pandemic had massive consequences on a number of things, and that did include gaming conferences and tech conferences, which have not been as prominent since the pandemic. Yeah. Okay, let me look at the chat here. Okay, Farmer Josh. No. What is it? Yeah. So please don't say stuff like that. Now let's get on to the next story. Let's move on to the Rabbit R1. So the Rabbit R1 is a AI companion. It's meant to be an AI assistant. And Teenage Engineering have impressed some reviewers here with some serious skeptics, but we do see that that some people are actually enjoying this new AI device, and yeah, this is an interesting product. At $199, it is a bit more justifiable compared to the $699 Humane AI pin. However, you still might not be able to justify that price tag. It is still a lot to be paying for a companion device, something that will not actually serve as a phone. It will just be another device. And of course, the general trend of the last 10 years has been that everything has become phone based. So perhaps these AI gadgets will see a similar fate. Time will tell. However, there is some optimism to do with these AI gadgets, as many reviewers are saying that they are quite interesting, that they potentially might see a future beyond this AI hype, and that, yeah, perhaps this is an interesting new product. And yes, it is interesting. I'm not sure what the consumer demand for this would be after the AI trend is over. Whether this will actually be a popular device, or whether this will just have maybe a day in the sun. Maybe a lot of people will buy it for a short time period, and then it won't see much further success. We'll have to see. But for now, this Rabbit R1 is an interesting gadget. Now, this is an interesting one. Some bad news for people in the US. It's another reminder that you can't always rely on Face ID and fingerprint unlock to actually protect you from having to unlock your device. So, of course, you may know that in the US, you do not actually have to unlock your device if, for example, a police officer asks you to, unless, of course, they get any sort of further warrant. And yeah, while that appears to not always be the case, because if you use a fingerprint or face recognition to unlock your device, apparently law enforcement in the United States may actually be able to ask you to unlock your device using your fingerprint or your face. So it is not totally safe if you use biometric security. So it's probably best, if you're worried about having to open up your device for law enforcement, that you just keep those biometric security options off. Now, continuing on to the next story here. So, let me find it here. So, this is an interesting one for those who want to look stylish while they use new AI technology. Well, now you may be more in luck. So the Ray-Ban Meta smart glasses now have multimodal AI. So previously, these were integrated with a number of Meta services, but now you can apparently use a number of AI features using these glasses. This article does run through some of the details, and yeah, hopefully this will be helpful for some people. Of course, it is easier if things are integrated with your existing devices. So, of course, with stuff like the Humane AI pin or the Rabbit R1, they are actually additional devices that you will have to carry around. But if you want something that's a bit more sleek, that's something that already fits into your lifestyle, then perhaps these smart glasses might fit that bill. So these are an interesting addition. So with this multimodal AI, you may be able to do some more stuff with photos, audio, and text, as this article says. So right now, apparently this is in early access, but apparently we will be seeing a wider rollout in the future. So it's apparently coming to all users soon. So that is good news for owners of those glasses. Now I know it might be slightly creepy, but maybe it's worth it for some people. It depends on your use case, I suppose. Now let's see, can we actually talk? Oh wow! Hello, Piggus. Hello? Can I hear you? Say something, please. Okay, I think I can hear you. Hello? From having to. Let's see here. We actually I'm sorry for these technical difficulties, guys. Hello, I'm just trying to work out what is going on with the AI here. Can I hear you? Discord say here. Something, please. So I will just disconnect and reconnect my headphones. Just okay, I think I can hear you. Fix this. So hopefully that does not actually stop from having to Discord. Let's see here. We actually I'm sorry for these technical difficulties, guys. Hello, I'm just trying to work out what is going on with the feedback AI loop. Let's not do that. Let's just continue on discussing some of these stories without Discord, because it appears to be having a few more issues. With Discord being down. So we can just continue on with the stream. So Microsoft has made MS-DOS 4.0 open source. So you can now experience MS-DOS 4.0 and actually be able to edit the code of this old version of MS-DOS. And this will be pretty helpful for people who are retro enthusiasts who want to be able to use old programs and make new software for these old operating systems, because now you can actually edit the code of MS-DOS. So the source code is now out there for all to see and use. And that is good news for developers who are wanting to use some retro systems. Apparently, thanks to a one developer, Connor Starfrost Hyde, he apparently had floppy disks with unreleased beta binaries of MS-DOS 4.0 in his collection, and he contacted Microsoft seeing if he could get the operating system an open source license, and they obliged. So that is interesting. It's good to see Microsoft have a bit of a good faith move here, actually allowing developers to be able to edit this code of this old version of their operating system. And of course, it is pretty useless now for most purposes. But for tech enthusiasts, it will of course be a still pretty useful, I suppose. Yeah. Now let's continue on to another story. So that was pretty good news from the open source developer side. If you want to try out old video games using MS-DOS, now is your opportunity. Hopefully there'll be more community support around this old DOS platform, and hopefully we see more use of it by the community. Now, Asus is coming out with a new monitor. So Asus is well known for their Pro Art monitors, their ROG Republic of Gamers monitors, and now they are coming out with a new monitor in the Pro Art series. So this could apparently be one of the best 8K displays ever. So we'll have to wait and see what this is actually like when it gets to the consumer side and to the professionals who are most likely to want to use this device. But it will be pretty helpful for many people in the film industry, people who edit video, people who edit photos. All of these people will probably find this a very helpful tool. And of course, with 8K, yeah, it will be a very high definition display. And with mini LED, it will be pretty good when it comes to getting those deep blacks. And yeah, it will be an interesting display, and hopefully, we will see this come out soon. Now, bad news for fans of DJI. A very well-known drone maker is now facing some legal scrutiny in the United States. So the FCC in the US, the federal I don't remember what FCC stands for. Anyway, they are apparently deciding to ban DJI. Now, of course, we have seen a ban of TikTok in the cards for a number of years, and that has never actually happened. Now, of course, the TikTok ban is coming closer to occurring, but now apparently lawmakers have focused their sights on a new Chinese company. So the Countering CCP Drones Act could see DJI banned. So Republican members of Congress and the Senate, as well as many Democrats, could be trying to back a bipartisan effort to try to ban these drones, as they have with TikTok. And we'll have to wait and see what actually happens with this, and whether DJI's, quite frankly, really good drones, whether they're banned or whether they can keep being sold in the US market. Now, I can see the concerns about perhaps if you're worried about the Chinese government, having control over DJI, potentially being able to use these drones for harm. You could argue that. But of course, from a technology point of view, it is not good to see another company banned. But of course, it is a political matter for the US to decide whether they ban this company. And of course, I did not actually realize that they have been under some scrutiny about their usage of drones, their usage of them selling drones to the Chinese government to surveil the Chinese minorities. And now, of course, that is quite a big allegation. Of course, if they are selling it to the Chinese government, they are likely to use it for whatever they are doing. And I think DJI have very little control over what a government would do with their drones. However, it is still a problem. Of course, they are still allowing this potential violations of human rights here. So, yeah, I'm not going to get into the politics here, but DJI does appear to potentially, they could soon be banned. So, yeah. Now onto a sad matter for competitors, but good news for Kobo. Apparently Kobo is now going to be allowing you to buy individual parts for your e-reader. So if you own a Kobo, you'll now be able to buy displays, batteries, motherboards, and covers. So a number of different components, and apparently they might be open to even selling better components for their devices down the road. So of course, as the product gets older and there are improvements in the technological sphere, we could see more improvements to the hardware, which then could actually be given to older devices in the form of upgrades. So, of course, this is bad news for the Kindle, because Amazon, of course, like to keep a lockdown ecosystem with the Kindle, and perhaps it will not be good news for them having potential competition actually allowing for repairable devices, because of course that does set a precedent that that device makers may actually be able to allow for right to repair in e-readers. And of course it does give consumers a choice, so they can choose the repairable option. So another win for right to repair, another win for the consumer, and of course we are assuming here that these e-readers are not too price prohibitive. We'll have to wait and see on that front, but yeah. Now, YouTube is apparently rolling out a new editing option for people on Android and on Android for now. So maybe it'll come to iOS, but it appears to mainly be an Android option. So YouTube Create is a new video editing tool. So it will allow you to edit YouTube Shorts and quickly edit different videos on the go in a number of different countries. So this is a new app which will allow you to quickly make simple edits to your YouTube videos before you upload them. So hopefully this should allow more creators who are perhaps new to making videos, who perhaps don't have all of the tools to actually be able to edit their videos and produce better content. So this will be an easy way for people to get into YouTube. So that can only really be a good thing, I suppose. Now, on the last story for today, I know, sad, the last story, but this is a light-hearted one, guys. This is a good news story. It is not exactly on the technology front, but it is actually very good news for everybody. So a British man has been has apparently been injected with the first personalized melanoma vaccine. So of course we'll have to see how these tests actually go, whether they actually succeed, and of course there will be some skepticism to do with this vaccine. But hopefully this is trialed, and hopefully this actually does work. Because of course cancer is a horrible thing. So if we can see a potential vaccine for a cancer, that is always good news. So yeah, that's a light-hearted story, guys. I suppose half not light-hearted because it's mentioning cancer, but also it is good news for people in general. Now, if I was actually able to connect to Discord, I might actually talk about the Odysee library stuff, but I will do that in a dedicated video this weekend. And I will get some input from some of the library community on that one, so we can actually discuss that story. Yeah. But anyway, guys, thank you again for watching. You can like, subscribe, and share. You can check out my Discord and my website if you want to. Thank you guys again for watching, and goodbye.